Hello and thanks for staying with us. The Controller General of Nigerian Customs Service has said that the customs will generate trillions of naira in 2021. Also on customs reports, more seizures made by various commands in the country. Plus, more report. I am Egeseme Edinye. Stay tuned. The Controller General of Nigerian Customs Service has told members of the National Assembly that the service will continue to implement measures that will improve revenue generation for the country. He made the declaration when he visited the National Assembly with members of staff and management of Nigerian Customs Service.
For your oversight, you must have seen that except the scanner at Semi, which is epileptic, it works sometimes and it stops. All other scanners are not working. And this happened, I met this on the ground. And as you all know, procuring scanners is one of the most difficult things to do, especially when you do not have the money to procure. The scanners that were procured before this management came into being were, I'm sure Mukhtar, who was part of this knew the stages at which we went through with the scanners. It kept changing hands until it got to a hand that the entire scanners were completely desecrated. And we were not the ones managing these scanners. We were not the ones paying for the maintenance of this scanner. So we lost, that became history. But now what are we doing to ensure that scanners are put on the ground? Let me take this opportunity to announce to the committee that already we have 3 scanners, mobile scanners that have been purchased by Ministry of Finance as an emergency because of the need for us to really control our ports. Those scanners have been purchased. The final process has been completed. We are now awaiting delivery. These 3 scanners will be deployed, one in Tinkanala, one in APAPA, and another one in Onne, 2 in Port Harcourt. Those are our major ports as today. So that effort is being made. Secondly, and I will explain further when we go to the second part of the presentation, the e-custom that has come into place has in its, as an embodied part of the implementation, deployment of 135 scanners that will cover both airports, land borders, sea ports. The President for Nigerian Customs to recruit since 2018 is 3,200. When we made a budget of 5.2 billion then, was to include the recruitment process all through to training and then payment of the salaries of those recruited. Unfortunately, in 2018, we did not get to pass the stage of just advertisement that we require. Then in 2019, we had a review of the type of candidates we recruit. We initially were thinking of a cadre, the lowest cadre, more than the middle and the top, the officers' cadre. But it was reviewed. We now moved the number to the inspectorate cadre more because we need them more. So we reduced the number from the officers' cadre and also the number from the IC's cadre and moved it to the inspectorate cadre. And that, of course, the salary and the configuration has to change. Then in 2020, we now looked at the metrics with regards to what really do we need in in terms of this. So we again readjusted the number in order to really give that recruitment the impact it deserves with regards to what you all have observed, that there are fewer junior officers and more top-heavy customs. And therefore, we have to reduce and then balance it at that level. So this adjustment give, and then we took into consideration, as we go along, we reviewed our salaries. We reviewed our remunerations. And therefore, that increase has to also be part of the component of the new budget. Because if we had recruited them and trained them in 2020, they will have to start earning salary. That's one of the compulsory provisions that Mr. President insists. You must have in your budget enough money to pay salaries of recruited persons before he approves it. So in every budget, we must calculate the salaries and allowances of those new comers and embedded it. And that's why you keep seeing the upward review in terms of the recruitment. But as of today, Mr. Chairman, I am telling you that for the process of the recruitment, we have spent only 40 million so far.
I cannot hear you. Say?
We have spent only 40 million in the process for the recruitment.
40 million?
Yes. So which means this money has not been touched because we have not gotten to the stage of training, nor stage of now deploying them and begin to pay them salaries. That is what it is. As of today, they are being screened. And after that, it is when we now move to training the recruits. That will now eat into the budget that you have approved for us. And then when they are finally trained, after 6 months and deployed, they will begin to earn salary. And that will be part of the budget that is going to be approved to us. So this is the gradual increase that you notice in our submission. I grab the indulgence of Mr. Chairman and honorable members to take us to the executive summary, page 5. Page 5. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The 2021 budget proposal. 2021 approved revenue target. The revenue target for the year 2021 is based on the medium-term expenditure framework, MTEF, approved by the National Assembly, as yourself, Mr. Chairman. The revenue target for NCS in 2021 financial year is set at 1.465 trillion, consisting of 1.267 trillion for Federation and 198 billion for non-Federation collection. When compared with the 2020 revenue target, the 2021 revenue target is higher by 85 billion or 5.80%. Page 6. Budget objectives and strategies for improved revenue generation in 2021. The service outlined some crucial programs that will span through a number of years, subject to 2021-2023 medium-term expenditure framework. These propositions are as follows. 1. E-Customs project. The E-Customs project has been approved by the Federal Executive Council and is expected to cover the automation of every aspect of customs activities. At the administration, operation procedures, which is hoped to be an avenue for reorganization and standardization of Nigerian Customs Service general performance. Thus, this will also include purchase of operational scanners, border surveillance equipment, etc. Proportionally, it is the service expectation that the result of this reform will increase the revenue base of the government. 2. Tariff review on vehicles. The service recommended and government approved downward tariff review of the current 35% levy on new and luxury imported vehicles to 5%. Also, the downward tariff review of transit vehicles for transport of more than 10 persons, trucks inclusive, from 35% duty to 10% duty. This is to encourage illicit massive importation of vehicles into Nigeria and further increase the revenue base of the government. And also, most importantly, reduce the extent of smuggling of vehicles through our borders. The complaint has always been that the tariff is too high, and therefore people have been forced to go through the borders to smuggle their vehicles. But based on that, now that we have succeeded in reducing the duty to this lowest level, it is our belief that most of vehicles coming into Nigeria will come through the ports. And by so doing, we'll create jobs, we increase earnings, not only customs, other operatives at the marine side, at the marine component will also earn revenue. So it is a win-win situation as far as we are concerned. 3, the reintroduction of import taxes on petroleum products. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, this 1 naira 50 kobo had been in existence before. It was stepped down by government. And honestly, today, when government is pondering all over the places to look for money to run the system, I think it is worth it that we revisit some of these taxes, which, if you look at it, it does not really affect the poor man. And today, with the reduction of duty on vehicles, it then means that we'll have better motorable vehicles imported into this country. Transportation business will be less expensive, because then from 35% to 10% duty on the vehicle, on passenger vehicles is a great reduction. So we believe that if we now complement our taxes by increasing, by bringing back the tax of 1 naira 50 kobo on petroleum product, it will go a long way in boosting the revenue generation for the federal government, because that will be a veritable source for the government to make money to be able to meet its own mandate. The service will maintain its push for the introduction of the abolished 1 naira 50 kobo per litre imposed on petroleum products in accordance with the petroleum product tax regime of 2004, as a means to expanding the revenue source of the government. This consideration has the potential to narrowing, supplementing government deficit budget if approved. Expansion of excisable items. The service recommended and the federal government approved in the Finance Act 2020 the inclusion of the telecommunication services, that's production of recharge cards, to the payment of excise duties in addition to alcoholic beverages and tobacco. Furthermore, the Nigerian Customs Service is of a strong view that the inclusion of carbonated drinks be listed as one of the components of excisable items. Mr. Chairman, I know many of you are aware that these items, all the carbonated drinks items, were part and parcel of our own excise regime. The Shonikan regime, the government decided to de-exercise this. As at then, the government policy was to encourage these companies to meet up with production and profiteering. But many years after, we are still running a regime that is shying away from taxing these companies. Coca-Cola, for instance, pay tax everywhere in the world they are producing. everywhere in the world except Nigeria. We have made that survey. Nowhere that Coca-Cola produces that does not pay tax, except Nigeria. And their products are many, from Fanta, Sprite to whatever. So we kept pushing, and we hope one day we'll succeed by getting these carbonated drinks. And also one of the reasons, Mr. Chairman and the honorable members, for us on insisting on carbonated drinks is the sense that if we tax alcohol beverages and tobacco beverages because they are injurious to our health, carbonated drinks with the content of sugar is also equally injurious to our health. Most of the diabetics, these things that you see today, is as a result of the consumption of these things. One bottle of Coke contains about 8 cubes of sugar. 8 cubes of sugar. So it is deadly. It's as deadly as tobacco. In fact, it's not as deadly. The alcohol is less deadly than this. But we are still running a free zero excise duty for this company. So it is our hope that working with you and working with the other agencies of government, we'll be able to re-exercise these companies so that they can not only pay the duties for government to get revenue, we can also safeguard the health of our own people. Because that's very important. That's one of our mandates, to ensure the well-being of Nigerians, and therefore making sure that we control those items that are injurious to their health. Page 8, Mr. Chairman. Border reopening. The revised federal government policy on border closure, which directs the immediate reopening of 4 land borders, namely Seme in the southwest, Ilela, northwest, Megatri, extreme northwest, Mfu in the south-south, is considerably expected to improve revenue generation by 0.5% among other benefits.
You are watching the program Customs Report. Goods worth millions of naira have been intercepted by men of the Nigerian Customs Service, FOU, Zone A. The unit intercepted bags of rice from vehicles used to smuggle consignment into the country. The smuggled rice were intercepted along the nation's borderline. The recent reopening of land borders in the nation, the federal operation in Zone A has intercepted various brands of vehicles used in smuggling rice into Nigeria. The acting controller of FOU Zone A said that customs will not allow any smuggled rice into Nigeria because it negates government's agricultural policy.
Place will go out without seeing or being confronted with this kind of attitude of their own. So it's not a new thing to us. The only thing that God knows our mind. All we are after is that our economy should be excellent so that all of us should be happy. The saboteurs, that is the smugglers, should stop this attitude of their own smuggling.
So what will you say is the amount of these figures, maybe later?
So that the arrested rice smugglers will be made to face the wrath of the law, adding that customs will continue to monitor unapproved routes in the Western Zone against smuggling activities of rice.
Anything SEIZURE has to do with intelligence. And this intelligence is what helps us a lot today to see that all these things were being brought in here. In charms. All in the name of what? So as to find their way. Now we say no. And this is why most of these tokumbos are here today.
According to him, the service will continue to fight illegal importation into the country. We now bring you more seizures as recorded by various commands in the country.
That I made mention that the other time. You can see that 504 is no more in vogue in Nigeria. But these people, they have their own mechanic. They go extra mile. Having a very strong absorber that maybe it's a trailer absorber they normally improvise. Land Rover absorber. You can see how they normally load their vehicles. You can see over there, the carrier, you think maybe they are going to the world market. While conducting the stop and search along Lokoja and Abuja Highway on the 21st February, which I said earlier, February 2021, at about 12:00 hours, intercepted one Mazda 626 with registration number ABJ 187BF, conveying 5 women from Lokoja to in Kogi State to Zuba, Abuja. Those are the people we showed you over there. On searching the vehicle, you know, I mentioned that we have the power to search vehicle as per SEMA, Cap C45 of Law of Federation of Nigeria 2004 as amended. On searching the vehicle as per section 149, 15 bundles and 18 pieces of wrappers were found to be concealed in the bonnet and other components of the vehicle. It was then when I was showing you, it was then I had to let you know that, yes, to a layman, we call it wrappers, but technically, it's otherwise known as knitted or crocheted yarn of a width exceeding 30 cm or containing by weight 5% or more of elastomeric yarn, classifiable under HS code 6004. The preliminary investigation revealed that 5 women are from different countries: Chad, Ghana, Mali, and Niger Republic. They were found to be illegal immigrants without any means of identification. Investigation revealed that they operate as a syndicate of 2 groups, specializes in duping and stealing of women wrappers, and most times use charm to perpetrate their crimes. One group operates in Kaduna and other group in Kano, prominently on big shops, selling women wrapper as their targets. The 2 groups came into the country.
Difference in revenue generation. In fact, if you look at what we generated in January 2020, we got 32.3 billion. January this year, we got 54.3 billion. Difference of over 20 billion. And if you look at the seizures, the case of seizures, we got intelligence and we make use of the system. That's how we were able to get the number of seizures recorded. If you look at 2019, we seized 114 containers with a duty paid value of 12.5 billion. In 2020, we seized 318 containers, which is almost triple of what we've seized in 2019. And with a duty paid value of almost 21.5 billion. Yes, in the course of these seizures, we were able to make some arrests. And you know the law says you cannot detain a suspect in the cell for more than 48 hours.
Understanding that ports is a transit place. It's not a place you keep goods. In other words, we have to look at the efficiency. It means that under this circumstance, we must think ahead now to begin to look at terminals outside the port arena that will service the ports a truck terminal that will service the port on call-up system. It's call-up system they're talking. At the port, look at the port access road, they're talking of call-up system. Look at the roads. For articulated vehicle, the bridge is almost cutting into two. You take any person to understand that APAPA access road should be 8 lanes. When you look at the cargo throughput, and we have the resources. When do we plan? Yes, that road is blocked completely. So what are we talking about? The call-up system is a good system if we can really carry it out. And carrying it out is to bring together everybody, not just few people.
Just before round up this week edition of the program Customs Report, we brought you the second part of the interaction by the Controller General of Nigerian Customs Service with members of the National Assembly in Abuja. For me, Egeseme Itinye, thanks for watching.